So, what is Xi Jinping's plan for the future and how he will destroy China or will bring it to the best place on earth? Hello and welcome. This is Beside News with me, the European. Yeah, Xi Jinping, a big person, not big, so he has a huge personality because he's the Chinese president, he is the president of the Communist Party of China, and his biggest thing is that he's now in his third term. So none other ruler of China has it since Mao Zedong. And I hope you know this name, that Mao Zedong was the first president of the Chinese Communist Party and also the first president of the People's Republic of China. So China today, of the Chinese mainland. So he won the Civil War and also have won some other wars like in Xinjiang or other regions. So Xi Jinping is today the big, new and successful leader of China. Yeah, there are some questions about this because if you watched the video before it, that China is today in a economically decline. So the GDP growth is lesser than expected. They have a high youth unemployment rate, and also generally the employment rate is rising. So it means that also the economic is in trouble. And why is then the Chinese government blaming the West for all these things? So they said that the United States are to blame because of their trouble. Okay, this reaction is a human thing. So when you remember what you are doing when you are doing something wrong, then at first you will say, no, I'm not the bad boy, other ones are the bad guys. They are bad because of them I am this situation. But when you are a politician, when you are the president of a country, when you are a dictator, Xi Jinping was voted. So by a parliament, by the party, and by the people. So it's not correctly when you say dictator. So we will use the word president. When you are the president of a country, then not the people or other countries are to blame because you are the bad guy. Because of one thing, because you ruled the country for the last 10 years and you ruled it very successfully. But after a pandemic, after a big virus called COVID-19, or some other people say Wuhan virus, but we will use the word COVID-19 because this is the official name by the World Health Organization, that you has worked at first very successfully. China has survived the pandemic very better than other countries, but the thing was that the big lockdowns has bring the Chinese economy not to a recession, but they bring it into trouble because nobody then there knows it will be there a lockdown or something else. It wasn't the same like in the West. In the West, we say after 2021, okay, let's live with the virus. It's not important when so much people will have it. So they will have COVID-19, they're infected, but they will survive it because we have the vaccine and everybody will vaccinated and then everything's okay. But in China, they only thought at the end of 2022 that it would be okay when we will end the lockdowns. But the thing there was that there was no big vaccination rate with mRNA vaccinations because they are helping against COVID-19. What we thought that was at first this big COVID-19 peak and the big wave. And then everybody thought, okay, now will be China rising again. They will have 10% GDP growth this year. But what is the reality? 5% and lesser. Last month, they had a GDP growth of 2.5%. So China is declining. And what is the reaction of the Chinese government and of Xi Jinping? They are strengthening the military because they have one plan. And it's not the one plan, it's Xi Jinping plans to bring China into the Chinese dream. And what is the Chinese dream? A reunification with the mainland and Taiwan. This is a plan, and this is a part of it. So, at first, the Chinese dream also means that China will be the strongest country in the world and the biggest economy, and they have the biggest military. And it needs also Taiwan and the South China Sea for that. And we see that in the last days that China's military is more and more strong enough to fight a war because the Chinese president has changed some persons in the military so that there are only people who saying yes to what he's saying. So there's no. For some actions, he is saying, okay, when he's saying today, now, okay, let's start a war, then all people there will say yes, because they can't say no. So it's a dangerous situation. And the thing is that one person has so much power, then this power will be misused. Because Xi Jinping's plan is also that Taiwan will be a part of China. And in his logic, it was in the past also part of China. But when we look into history, then it's wrong. Taiwan was never a part of China because the Chinese army, so the People's Liberation Army (PLA), has fight against the nationalists in the Civil War in 1949. But they never fight this war on Taiwan because the nationalists, Taiwan was the last place where the nationalists lived and where there was their base. But the PLA has never attacked Taiwan. So Taiwan was never part of today's China. And the other thing is that what is also bad for Xi Jinping is that he sees that also Taiwan is a democratic country and they're living Chinese. And he has said some time ago that China could be never a democracy because this will never work. But we can see that it works on Taiwan. They have 24 million inhabitants. It's not so much like the 1.4 billion Chinese, but they have a very liberal and strong democracy. Because when we see it in the index, in the democracy index of Freedom House, then Taiwan is at place 10. So it's Asia's best democracy. And they have so much rights which we haven't in Western democracies, like that that gay couples can marry. So this is not happening in all Western countries. So they are very, very far away from an authoritarian regime like China is. And also people thinking in very different, so that they can say what they think. And in China you can't. And also the thing that one country, two systems, I hope you heard of it. They are also in Taiwan saying in polls, so 70% or more saying they won't be a part of China. They want status quo, like it is today with Taiwan and China. Because they saw it in Hong Kong that one country, two systems doesn't work because Hong Kong is now like other Chinese provinces. So the thing is that also Xi Jinping's plan for the Chinese dream that China will be the best, successfully, and strongest country in the world will be never works because the Taiwanese people are against it. So what will be happen when China will be more in trouble? It could be very realistic that China will attack Taiwan. But the thing is that one thing will be against it. And these are the little semiconductors. Because when China will attack Taiwan, which will be a worse thing, because war will be never a solution for conflicts or for personal conflicts or for personal reasons. Because every war is one step into a third world war and also a step into a big crisis of all partners. And when we talk now about semiconductors, then this means also when China will attack Taiwan, then China will destroy 70% of all production facilities for semiconductors. And what will happen then? Yeah, the world economy will collapse because we need the semiconductors. Everything, every product, every iPhone, every smartphone, every iPad, every MacBook, every Windows PC, every Intel PC, we all need this. And also China need this. So when they will do it, then the whole world will be more affected than because of the Ukraine war. Because then one big industry, and this will be the tech industry, will be destroyed. Not destroyed, they will be in big crisis. And they have the problem that there will be no products, no new products. So every part of our society will be then affected because of one man, because of Xi Jinping. So let's hope that he will realize that when he will do this, then everyone must or will hate China and also himself. And this is a not good plan for a successful leader. Thank you very much for joining in.